Hello there, internet, family-friendly MTG tuber here, and I got another video for you beautiful motherfuckers today. We are going to be playing some Grixis standard 2020 style, though, as I am preparing for the upcoming Twitch Rivals tournament that will be happening this Tuesday. I will be live streaming it. I can't really tell you what time it is, though, because I haven't really checked it yet. I forgot, honestly. So tomorrow, in tomorrow's video, I should probably have the exact time at which the event will start. And like I said, I will be live streaming it on Twitch. It is a best of 3 tournament with a Swiss phase initially. I think it's a total of 40 streamers going at it in a best of 3 competitive standard event, but a standard 2020. The format is actually standard 2020 post rotation, but without Throne of Eldraine. So no Ixalan, no Rivals of Ixalan, no Dominaria, and no Core Set 2019. Therefore, I am preparing for the tournament by trying to design competitive best of 3 deck lists that fall into this format. And my first attempt at, designing and coming up with a deck for the tournament is, but of course, Grixis, because Grixis is my favorite best of 3 competitive archetype out there. I am a Nicol Bolas Dragon God fanboy, officially, and we're trying to design a variant of it that does not run Nicol Bolas Ravager, for he is from Core Set 2019. I cry every time. If I get some F's in the comment section down below for the absence of Nicol Bolas Ravager, that'll make me feel slightly better. Or probably not really. It's a hard blow to take. But regardless, this is my variant of Grixis mid-range post-rotation. And as you can see, it's quite different because it's more of a Dimir shell with a slight splash of red to, actually call it Grixis, because we're playing Nicol Bolas Dragon God. But most of it is Dimir. And the main reasoning behind that is my choice for 4 mana creatures and spells in general. So this is an upgrade, not an upgrade, like the evolution, I would say, for post-rotation of what I like to call Booty Grixis, because a guy named called Butt Shaper sent me, he's an actual viewer of Twitch, Butt Shaper sent me a mid-range Grixis list that I've showcased on this channel multiple times, and one of the big things about it is that it runs 4 copies of Knight of the Ebon Legion. As you can see in this variant, though, we are not playing 4 copies of Dreadhorde Butcher because we're mostly Dimir with a bit of red, and I didn't feel comfortable running a 2-drop that required a red source of mana, considering what is my land base. So why am I running this variant? Well, like I said, the 4-drop slot is a big change for this deck because we lose Nicol Bolas Ravager, which we used to run as a 4 of, and we also lose the likes of Hash's Taker as well, because she is from Ixalan. So on their stead, I'm running 2 copies of God Eternal Kefnet and 3 copies of Nightbale Predator, because I think this 4-drop is actually legitimately underrated. I think, or illegitimately, English, I don't know. It's basically underrated, in my opinion, because I think he's very solid. Like the Hexproof, in this metagame with Teferi Time Raveler, which is going to be a force to be reckoned with in Standard, there's no way he's not going to be very represented in any sort of Azorius core-driven deck. Teferi Time Raveler is going to be a thing. He's going to be very popular, and if you want to run 3 mana, and more importantly, 4 mana creatures in your deck, having them be, in a way, invulnerable to Teferi Time Raveler is a very big deal. And because Nightveil Predator has Hexproof, he cannot be targeted by Teferi's bounce effect, and he can float over the opponent's creatures and finish him off in, mid-range decks that may opt to run Teferi, or even Hero Precinct 1 variants as well. I think he's very good against Esper decks. I think he's very good, very, very good actually, in a Grixis control mirror, because he survives Cry the Carnarium and Ritual of Soot. And I think he's also pretty good in matchups like Bant and anything with Teferi Time Raveler, basically. That's why I'm running 3 copies of him. Not really as good against aggro decks, but also not terrible either, because a 3/3 that can be targeted by stuff like Lava Coil or such for red-focused decks, for example, can still trade rather, favorably, even though it is a pretty slow play, right? And you're not getting that many stats out of him. But ultimately, I think Predator is a very underrated 4-drop, and I like, the chance to make it shine a little bit in the absence of other better options that are no longer available to us, right? We have 2 copies of God Eternal Kefnet. It seems like a very obvious choice. It is not invulnerable to the Teferi Time Raveler, but it is a 4/5 for 4. Very good stat line that survives Lava Coil against red focus decks. And also, I talk about Lava Coil a lot. I think that's pretty important. It's a good card, and a lot of people will be playing it if they're playing red. And Something else that I like about God Eternal Covenant is obviously the synergy with all of our instants and sorceries that we can draw with having it on the board. Another flyer as well. I like my 4 drops to be flyers. You know, it's good. You float over things. You can't be blocked as easily, and it's overall a good thing. And that's why we're running 2 copies of Covenant. It is a god, so I think 3 may be a little bit too much. And then we have 4 copies of Nicol Bolas Dragon God, the reason why we're splashing red and why we're running Grixis to begin with. We have him as a 4-of, as our 5-mana bomb. We have a 1-off of Enter the God Eternals because of its utility against aggro decks and also the synergy with God Eternal Covenant. And then we have a 1-off of Eugene, a 1-off of Awakened Inferno, 2-off of Bedex alongside 4 Tyrant Scorn, 3 Bedevils, and 1 Legion's End as our single target removal, alongside Cry the Carnarium as a little bit of an AoE push that we didn't really run before in our other version of Grixis mid-range. But in this one, I felt like having Cry the Carnarium in the main deck can be really good, especially considering most mono-red decks now spread out in a lot of 1/1s because they play Cavalcade of Calamity. So I feel like even it's more prevalent now versus aggro than it was before, and I think it's justifiable to run 2 copies of it. We have a 1-off of Drawn from Dreams. I like this a lot in matches that drag out. It also has tremendous potential synergy with God Eternal Covenant. 4 copies of Thought Erasure because you play Thought Erasure if you play the Mirror, as simple as that. And a 2-of Tonebound Lich because I think this 3-drop is actually really solid in this meta because of the fact that the aggressive decks are more creature based. Like I said, mono red is more creatures based than ever, at least in standard 2020, because they like to run Cavalcade of Calamity as their core damage generator. So they have to have a bunch of 1/1s basically to attack with, and Tonebound Lich trades into them really well and also provides us with lifelink and fixes our draws as well. So that is the deck list right there. As you can see, this variant though, we have no sideboard designed, and the reasoning behind that is because as much as I like this deck, I think it's a good deck to play in standard 2020, I'm not going to be competing in the Twitch Rivals event with this deck specifically. And the reasoning behind that is because this deck has a very big glaring weakness, right? While I think the matchup against mono red Cavalcade of Calamity can be improved, because I do think we're still a little bit weak to that, honestly. Definitely underperformed that matchup. I was expecting it to do a little bit better, but it didn't. And being vulnerable to a deck like that on game 1 is very dangerous, because even if we have a strong sideboard game plan against them, it's very, very dangerous to be vulnerable to a deck like mono red game 1, because that means they just have to win another game in the best of 3 scenario, and that means they'll likely go first in game 3, which can be pretty devastating as well. So having a deck that matches up better against them and gives you a good chance of winning game 1 is a big deal in a tournament environment where many people may actually resort to it. So that's one of the main reasons as to why I'm not playing Grixis. But the big reason as to why I'm not doing so is because this deck has yet to actually defeat the gate decks running around. I've ran into gate decks a total of 3 times upon testing, and I've yet to beat it with Grixis. So I feel like gates, at least my initial impression is that it seems like a powerful deck, especially the variants that run Field of the Dead. I think it's a legitimate deck. I think many people may be inclined to run it, and I seem to get overpowered every single time when I face it with Grixis, and that is a big no-no for me. I can't outrace that deck, despite the fact that I'm a mid-range deck and I have stuff like Knight of the Ebon Legion. I don't really outrace the deck well, and once they get to a certain point, even though I'm a bit of a controlled deck, I can't deal with their value. I can't deal with Guild Summit. It's an enchantment. I'm Grixis. I don't handle enchantments at all, and they just get insane card draw, and they drop their Gate Colossus and their Goats and all that shit, and they just overwhelm the hell out of me, and there's not much I've been able to do about it. And like I said, a Field of the Dead variant is even more powerful, on paper at least, and I just don't think that's a winnable matchup for this deck. And because I think that could be a good candidate for the tournament, I'm opting to not play Grixis. And I will show you guys gameplay against gate decks in this video as well, so you can see what I'm talking about, basically. I don't think there's anything I can really do with this deck to really match up better against that one without leaving myself wide open to other matchups. So ultimately, I'm going to have to decline for now for Grixis for the tournament, unless I come up with a better version, honestly. But, you know, I do definitely miss Ravager, because Ravager was a very powerful top deck in games like that dragged out tremendously. I could still top deck Ravager, flip him over, and then bring back Dragon God and get some sort of, you know, power play going on in the very late game. But now I don't really have that, so it just gets a little bit awkward in that sense. So that's basically it. I'm still a big fan of this deck. I hope you guys enjoy it regardless. It has a bad matchup that I think could be a potential tournament deck to face. But if you're not preparing for a tournament or anything and you still do love Grixis, try this variant out. Let me know how it works out for you. I really do believe in Night Veil Predator as a 4-drop, as a good one at that. And hopefully you guys enjoy some good old Dragon God action, because we got some good games for you guys today. And some good learning experiences as well. And I will be venturing more into other archetypes until I finally come up with the deck that I will be playing with for the tournament. I have an idea of what deck I want to compete with, but I gotta prepare a little bit more in today's and tomorrow's stream. So yeah, having that said, have a whole day. Thank you guys for watching, and hopefully you enjoy the games. I'll see you tomorrow. I mean, the thing is, guys, like, it's very popular, but it's very popular because it's a best-of-1 format. Like, I can't really expect that to be the norm. I'm gonna keep this, despite the fact that only it's a 2-lander. I do have Surveil. I have, like, double Surveil with this and Thought Erasure. Like, in best-of-3, there's no way Calamity is, like, super... I mean, ain't that like the easiest Legion's end of your life?
Hey, don't start any fires.
Maybe I could have waited. I could have gone for the Thought Erasure. Like, I took a little bit of extra damage, but I did let that happen. Did he actually? He just literally top decked. He literally top decked another one. That's what just happened. He actually just he literally top decked another Mayhem Devil.
Hey, these little guys are great.
Beautiful.
Next time, you're toast.
Oh, top deck for top deck. That was fantastic. That was actually pretty insane. Okay, so if we top deck a land, Eugene can come in. If we top deck, like, we have a lot of good top decks with this Kefet on the board. Beautiful.
When you understand reality, your past is unwritten.
Wow.
Experience still moved useful.
Show me a land. Show me a land, Lich. Come on, buddy. Show me a land. Atta boy. Good guy, Lich. Wow. Well, damn. I do kind of want to... be aggressive here. I could have preserved that at instant speed, but I didn't want any shenanigans. So in all the games that I've had, my health has been pushed down. Like, I don't like how I'm faring versus aggro decks. Got him. All right. Strange meta that I'm facing. I'm gonna be playing in the Twitch Rivals, Calabac. Is that you see your name, Calabac? I'm gonna be playing the Twitch Rivals on Tuesday, so I'm trying to like prep for it. I mean, I guess I'll keep. Oh wow. I mean, no land over elf though. I'm gonna lead off with the Legion. I'm gonna enable the Tyrant Scorn. That way I can actually, okay. Except, you know, hexproof. I mean, if aggro is such a concern, I can add in more Enter the God Eternals. I can always do that. But the problem is Cavalcade of Calamity as well. Okay, is he trying to like go turbo on me? I would love to top deck into a red source of mana here. Otherwise,
Sun in the sky, brine on my skin, great to fight. Nature flows with vigor. alone.
If he attacks with the crasses, I won't block.
The ocean surges, life thrives.
Okay. Beautiful. Holy shit, that is so good. I could go Bedeck. I should go Bedeck over Bedevil. I need to kill this, guaranteed. I can kill that now.
Just gonna slip away.
That way I don't have to take extra damage from my blood crypt. Can I just blood drawn from dreams here? I can Hydra this. Gotta be careful with this. I can also fish for removal.
Mortality suits me well. I am Death's master.
I should have attacked with Knight of the Ebon Legion. I kind of derped there. Got him. Like, it actually survives rotation really well. Oh, it's the same guy. Okay. Well, I have a feeling we're getting Thought Erasure. I'm gonna drop that because that would have been good to play earlier. Okay, so Thought Erasure coming my way. Yep. Oh, never mind. Alright. So he's playing Discovery. He does have the cry, so I don't think there's much point in playing the Ebon Legions. Top or bottom? Top or bottom? Top. No bueno.
mortally cold bolas will be your end.
Cry?
I have other schemes to attend to. I outsmarted you eons ago.
Now that's more like it.
Defiances infuriate. Let your weak minds crumble.
Nice top deck, bruh.
Let us march into battle and make new comrades. Rise. Looks like you're on
For
your
your
own now.
cause.
Look at that timing, though. Oh, nice. Definitely a deck that I could see people bringing. At least, not that particular variant, but maybe one with like Field of the Dead and stuff like that. That could definitely work out. Alright, this could be another... Is this the same guy? Because I would love to get more sample games against this. What 4-drop could I be worried about? Do I want to enable the Tyrant Scorn or do I want to have the Temple of Epiphany? I'm going to enable the Tyrant Scorn. In case he drops a goat right off the bat, I can kill it. And still enable the attack from Ebon Legion here. Yeah, I like this line of play. Okay, it's the same. It's the same deck. I know this makes me vulnerable to Gates Ablaze, but to be fair, I need to start pushing damage. I need to be aggressive at this point. Is this really a thing? Like Golo's gate deck? It feels pretty powerful. Like I'm gonna lose to it again, and I don't like that because this could be a legitimate like. This feels like a strong deck, honestly. I've never been an advocate for gates, but this deck feels That's ridiculous. That's crazy. That's crazy value. He should growth spiral first, yeah. That's spooky.
Let's make this quick. I've got other things to burn. Utterly is the best way to destroy things.
He's got a hand filled with cards. Like, he has no lands in his hand, which is extremely threatening when he has like such a high packed. Yeah, this deck is powerful. I have to like respect this deck. This deck is very strong, and it certainly does feel like it overpowers mine. I wonder how efficient it is against aggro though. It feels rather vulnerable to aggro, but then again, they have health gain with that, and like even the likes of mono red is more creature reliant now than it was before with Cavalcade of Calamity, which means that Gates Ablaze becomes a very useful AoE tool for aggro. I could totally see this deck like surviving a lot of aggro builds. Ashiok doesn't really do, like, it doesn't do as much as you would think against this deck. Jesus.
Is it just me, or is it getting a little warm in here?
He has so much card draw, it's actually ridiculous. He's yet to apply pressure, but he's going to be able to run through his deck with such ease. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So he just needs 7 mana, right? To play this and this. Jesus. Maybe this is a good reason to play Narset. I think this is as good of a reason as any to play Narset. I'm so playing Narset. I have to play Narset. This is insane. Like, I just kind of have to hope, like, he kind of, like, my win condition now is for him to mill himself and somehow not die to this ridiculous board. Yeah, this seems pretty strong. That definitely overpowers my current Grixis build. Alright, GG. Okay, so what do we do? Because I don't think I could beat that deck with this. And that's a pretty good candidate for like what people may bring. At least, you know, some players. I can definitely see him because I know Numa the Nummy. I know that guy loves gate decks. So if he's playing in Twitch Rivals, I could totally see him bringing something like that. Maybe, like I said, with Field of the Dead. So I gotta be prepared for that. That's a very powerful deck that I've yet to, like, actually beat. I've only faced it 3 times, but I've yet to, like, defeat it, so